It's 6:51. We're gonna go ahead and get our meeting started. So if you will go ahead and join Mr. Hayes, he will get us the flag salute.
All right, so I am here with middle school math club students. Recently, they just competed in Salem at the math Penta Games against a bunch of other schools and did very well. We were here February, I believe, when they were in the math counts competition in Bend and did extremely well. So these students show up every week before school for math club and get selected by Mr. Fisher. He is unable to be here, so I'm here talking with these students and showing them off a little bit. So they're here. They're going to start us with the flag salute. Pledge of allegiance. So please stand and move your hands.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're gonna have them stay up here as well, because they'll be our first recognition.
So with us to
We gotta have, they'll be our recognition, we'll do roll call.
Okay, so Miss Tammy, please recognize all 5 members are here. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, Marcus, go ahead.
all right.
Agenda.
Oh, I thought he was gonna keep going. Okay. So 2.0 agenda additions, solutions, revisions, and agenda approval.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Do we have further discussion? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Eric,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Kelsey?
Yes.
And yes as well, Miss Tammy. Dr. Hoff, back to you.
Now, the much anticipated CCMS math team, turning it over to Mark.
All right, so with us, in the whole group, there's a bunch of kids that show up for math club, but these individuals, based off of testing and being selected by Mr. Fisher to be in specific spots and roles within the teams. We have Elena Seymour here. We have Noah Wilhelm, Audrey Henderson, John Mattiota, Raylan Terry, Kyla Ashmead, Carrington Mason with Holden Trophy, Bailey Wilson, Rachel Ashcraft, and Lily Proshek here. So a special shout out, John here placed 3rd individually in his 8th grade level. Carrington placed 4th in the algebra and Rachel placed 3rd in algebra. Am I right with those? Fisher changed those? No? Oh,
I got first, I got third, Rachel got third.
all right.
Close.
Anyways, they did very well. So, I got the hardware to prove it. So, Dr. Hoff, you have some questions for the kids?
Yeah, we were just gonna have, say your name, your grade, and then what you love most about middle school. We'll start down here.
My name's Elena Seymour and I'm in 7th grade. My favorite thing about school is probably the outside time.
My name is John Mattiota. I'm in 8th grade. My favorite thing about school is the adult classes.
My name's Audrey Henderson. I'm in 7th grade and my favorite thing about school is probably also the admin classes.
I'm Rachel Ashcraft, I'm in 8th grade, and I think my favorite thing about school is that they give you a lot more freedoms in middle school and you manage your time on your own more.
My name's Lily Proshek. I'm in 7th grade. And my favorite thing about middle school is all the opportunities it has, like the clubs and stuff.
My name's Carrington Mason. I'm in 7th grade, and my favorite thing about middle school is eating lunch in the library.
School board, what questions do we have for our math Penta members?
I don't have a question, but I do want to congratulate you all on choosing to make math. I was talking to the CEO of one of our largest construction companies in Central Oregon the other day, and he told me that if you're a math major, he will hire you on site. He said it isn't because of the math skills, it's because people who do math do logic, and it's so hard to find. You are on a really good path, and I hope you stay there. So, hard work, and thanks for making Central Oregon look good.
We have to take a picture. Would you?
It's Dr. Scott's favorite part.
We'll have to scoot in a little bit. You're gonna have to stand a little closer to your face. Perfect. Hey, let's give these students another round of applause. We'll give that to Mr. Fisher, okay? Thanks, guys. Hey, next up, I see Scott Porphyry peeking in the door. So we're gonna have to get really loud and let him know how much we Mr. Porphyry. So let's give it up for Scott Porphyry. He really loves public recognition. I'm just kidding. So once a month I go around and I ask staff like, hey, what community members are out there that are making a difference for our schools, making a difference for students? And Scott Porphyry's name kept coming up. And the coolest thing they said, and this came from I think some pioneer staff, or even before, schools raise funds all the time in various different ways. They said the coolest thing about Scott Porphyry is that even before staff ask, he is generous and provides donations before they even have to reach out. And it takes community members like that to keep our schools going, to provide those really cool experiences for our students. So we are so lucky to have Mr. Porphyry and SMAF doing so much they do for our school district. What questions does the board have?
He also hires students from Crook County.
And a few graduates from Crook County.
Yeah.
One of those. And just for the record, you are a Crook County graduate.
I am,
Yeah.
And then
Very
middle
good.
school, I liked recess, that was probably.
One of those set outside time, right? We're changing a little bit. So, hey, let's give it up for Mr. Scott Porphyry. We're gonna take your picture, so you can just hold that. Perfect. Thank you so much. Right. Yeah, really appreciate it. Take care. Let's give him another round of applause. Next up, I'm gonna invite Mr. Dunaway up and he'll give a quick overview and then we have a lot of our awesome performing arts students here and then we'll welcome them up. So, hey, let's give it up for Mr. Dunaway. So I've heard this, I've experienced and I've heard this from multiple people that we had some of the strongest drama performances we've ever had in Crook County history this year. So I wanted to just give a quick overview of what we've done and then we'll welcome your students up here.
Yeah, absolutely. We just wrapped up our spring production of 12 Angry Jurors yesterday. And earlier in February, we had our musical, which was Chicago. And Chicago was the best attended and just most successful pretty much in it by every metric, by money, by attendance, by student participation, by just everything. That was a real high point of the year, that show. We had well over 100 people for every performance, which is the first time that's happened. And it's given us a pretty good budget for next year's musical, which is, just kidding, I'm not telling you. I'll announce that at the end of the month, but they're all very excited for that announcement. But yeah, we've had a really good year.
And it comes down to the students and then an awesome coordinator, putting those students in the right experiences, giving the right training. So with that, we've got a good crew of our performing arts students. We're gonna have them come up, their name, grade, and what they love about drama.
Sure. Yeah.
Performing.
Yeah.
Come on up.
Come on up here.
Yes. And we'll just start. Do you want to start us off? Name, grade, and what you like about drama? Do you want Elle to go first?
Oh, now I'm.
Yeah. Let's fly.
My name is Elle Buchheit. I'm a senior and what's my favorite thing about drama? I love to create a character, like every character can be interpreted differently through the brain. And I love to create a character in my own way. Awesome.
My name's Eli Arthur. I'm a senior. My favorite thing about drama is the space that we provide for people who don't have spaces in the rest of the school to go to.
My name's Kingston. I'm a senior, and my favorite thing about drama is just the crew. I mean, there are a lot of great people, and it's great to build relationships with them.
I'm Megan Livingston. I'm a freshman and I just love the experiences that we get to do and the people that we get to do with.
I'm Henry White, I'm a freshman, and I really enjoy the community that, our theater program builds. I've met a lot of amazing people this year.
I'm Logan Evans, I'm a senior, and my favorite part would be just all the fun technical aspects of the shows.
I'm Leah Purdy, I'm a freshman, and I think my favorite thing is how everybody makes you feel included and it builds a sort of confidence I don't have anywhere else.
My name is Megan Grist. I'm a junior and I love the people.
My name's Amanda Neal. I'm a junior and my favorite part is probably the togetherness of every rehearsal.
My name is Mason Bryant. I'm a junior and my favorite thing is probably getting to entertain people in the community. And please donate and we have t-shirts.
I also wanted to mention that we, in the fall, we had our annual haunted house event, our fourth one that we've had, which is always an amazing fundraiser for drama. And then we also, in between Chicago and Jurors, we put on a production of A Year with Frog and Toad, which was able to tour to elementary schools. And that was a pretty amazing experience. And we're definitely going to be doing that again. Oh, and I want to embarrass Logan and give him a shout out for two things. One, Logan is going to be attending Southern Oregon University in the fall to study theater there, technical theater. And he is Crook County's first recipient of the Doug Watson Scholarship through the Tower Theater in 10 years. So congratulations.
Questions from our school board?
I just want to express to you that you're not getting an adequate education from your teacher. I left town on Wednesday for a business trip and didn't get home till Sunday night, and I'm sorry that I missed 12 Angry Jurors. I wanted to see it. And in Broadway, we have this concept called an extended run. So like, you know, when it's a good show, run it the next week, you need to learn a thing or two. Just saying, it could have been. Also, Logan, to you, when you get to Southern Oregon, there's a young lady there. She is the set designer for the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. Her name is Anna Williamson, and she's a Crook County graduate of this program.
Yep.
So look her up.
We met last year.
Good. She's a great young lady.
We're gonna put Mr. Dunaway in the middle and get a picture.
I will say,
Two
but
rows.
I did get to see the production and you missed out.
No,
It was one of my favorites.
Extended run,
I
right?
liked what they did with the small theater.
Right.
I love those themes.
Right.
Hey, let's give him another round. I will have said, hey, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, it'll be fine. I'll sit. Awesome.
It's 5 minutes.
That's Kingston.
You're right.
Okay, let's give Kingston. All right, and in our last recognition, we actually, the board, myself, we got an email from a parent who just said, hey, we have to recognize this teacher and the impact that they have had on a student at the high school. So with that, I want to invite Pat Burkby up. Paige, I'll turn it over to you. Heidi?
Oh, am I supposed to speak?
You're welcome to.
This last year I struggled a lot, with my accident and I had a 504 plan. So, a lot of people have just like said, oh, you're cheating. Oh, you're going to his place to cheat. But learning has been really hard for me this year. It's like my brain's just been a lot slower than normal and, sometimes I think kids don't understand that, and that's okay, but it's been, really amazing to go, just have fun in Berkey's room and to actually understand what I'm doing in class instead of, just sitting there, not knowing what I'm doing. And when I do tests, I feel confident when I'm taking them. And that's been something I've struggled with my whole life learning, but he's really made it an impact in my life to just sit down and take the time, and we joke around, and it's just been a really good impact on my life.
Paige has been an inspiration to our entire community. We've all been praying and sending as many good thoughts as we can, and it's just Heidi and Paige and the battle they've been through, and just such a testament to the great people in Crook County. And then also thrown in Pat Berkby as those teachers that always, we have them all throughout our schools, going above and beyond every day to meet kids where they're at and help out. So we're so lucky to have Paige in our school, parents like Heidi and teachers like Mr. Berkby. So
well, I don't want to like take away anything from any other teachers because, but, it truly takes a village. And, you know, we've come to football games when Paige can't even make it to school because her pain is so bad. And I say to Rob, and Jake, we're really taking school seriously. This is kind of important for this. We're just glad to see her here. And, you know, just every teacher rallying behind her, or you came in the football field. But what he doesn't understand is a lot of days in school, just come home with such disappointment because when you have a traumatic brain injury, and strokes at a young age, her memory's not right. Her comprehension is not right. And I've told everybody at the school, I can't pay attention to her academics. That's the furthest thing down my priority list. My priority list is getting her well, not just here, but here too. Because there's been a lot of heartbreak and not being able to compete and losing a lot. And for someone to come in early in the morning, so someone to spend their lunch, someone to spend their off periods, someone to give her snacks, someone to break things down. And when she has a test and she goes and sits with him and so I can't give you the answer, but this is what we reviewed on this day. Remember, you know, what we reviewed on this day. And then her brain can get back to those kind of things. He doesn't have to, he's not even her teacher. But he makes himself available to her anytime, whether it's before school or after school. And, you know, it's like when we go to the grocery store, she says, we got to get Berkby some wheat thins. For me, it means so much. And I looked on every website and you can't nominate a teacher the year it's already ship sailed. And that's how far behind I am. We're out of school next month. I thought it was the beginning of the year, but he for us is forever. And without him, Paige wouldn't be succeeding in school, and it would be one more disappointment that she's having to deal with. And we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody because they've gone above and beyond. And I appreciate when I run into you in public that you said, I'm still praying for Paige. Because you want to know what? We're not done. We're far from done. And she's facing a lot of very serious surgeries still. But the community support and the support of school has been a huge part of her just hanging in there. So, thank you.
Give him a round of applause. I think it's impulsive. Thank you, guys. Let's get another round. That's it for recognitions.
Hey, Paige, I just wanted, before we leave recognition, I want to say to you, thank you for standing up for the 504s. Because we've seen other kids who struggle and need that 504. It's a tool that we have for a reason. It's important. Never apologize because you have it. Never take criticism from anybody else. Be an ambassador
for those kids who need it, because there's a lot of them that makes a huge difference. So thank you for standing up there and saying those words.
Absolutely.
And I hope to see you this summer, because they've got a dedicated injury lane with a couple others joining for something.
Okay, 3.2, spring sports recognition. Mr. Bonner.
All right, so thank you very much. This one's a little bit different than in the past. We don't have a lot of the final results from spring sports because they're not done yet. We'll be going into the first part of June for all of that. But we do have a lot of coaches and athletes here. And 293 spring athletes is what we have currently. And so 293 is a great number. You tack on another 80 to 90 kids when you're looking at the arts and music, drama, choir, and you're packing on almost another 100 kids. So yeah, we're pushing 400 kids that are involved in the spring, and we're very, very proud of that. I'm going to start by bringing some coaches up, and then we'll go over the academic all-state awards and whatnot. Let's start with boys volleyball. Mallory, come on up. You got some boys volleyball athletes, I see. Gentlemen. We'll let Mallory go and then I'll fill in if she misses anything.
Grandma Bartman, and I'm a senior.
Bryce Longwell, senior.
And I'm Mallory Hall. I'm the head coach for boys volleyball. We are having a really great season. We are currently second in our league, and our last home game is senior night tomorrow night. And then as long as everything goes as planned and rankings stay the same, we'll host our first round of state on the 20th.
Only you had some height on it.
No,
Athleticism, yeah. It's been so fun to watch. We've added a couple sports in the last few years, and this one's been a highlight watching these guys play. And yeah, 6 o'clock tomorrow if you guys want to come and watch senior night. 6A, 5A ranked 6th currently. So that's a great season so far, and I can't wait to see how it finishes up.
Is this their third year?
This is our third year,
Yeah.
first year as a sanctioned OSA sport.
So.
Thank you, guys. Track and field. We have some athletes.
Here we go.
We have a track coach here. You guys, oh, this is gonna be great. I can't wait to see it. Even better. We'll see how you've been trained. So track and field, we have JV districts, right? Coming up Wednesday, I believe. Yeah. And then why don't you guys go on down the line, name, year, event. Let's hear event and then your favorite part.
All right, I'm Josiah Swick. I'm a senior, and my main two events are the 3K and the 1500.
I'm Tatum Holiday. I'm a senior. My main two events are high jump and javelin.
I'm Amy Strong. I'm a senior, and my main events are discus and javelin.
Very good. I know there's at least one future college athlete. Go ahead and want to tell them, Tim, about that?
Yeah, I actually got a scholarship to Iowa. It's a D2 school over in Iowa, so I will fly out there. I'll leave the August 13th, and then my classes start on the 20th.
Congratulations. Good. It's good. You guys have any post-high school plans?
I signed on to go run cross-country, indoor and outdoor track at Bushnell University in Eugene.
Very good.
So I'll be going.
Will you come and see me tomorrow, please? Because we're gonna have an assembly and I need to put you down on the books. So come and see me tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Any plans yet?
Not for track.
Okay.
Just going to lane for my associates, while doing a youth
Not
ministry
just,
internship.
that's awesome. Very good.
Not just.
Not just.
Youth ministry.
Very nice. Very good. Thank you. So they have, of course, district and state coming up and stay tuned for those results. Good luck. Great job, you guys. Thank you. What's that? We've got district next week and then state towards the end of
I know maybe
so
just
yeah.
jam packed.
It is. It's a lot. Now let's have, boys and girls golf isn't here today. Do we have any? We do have Graham. Graham, come on up. Yes, Graham. Please represent boys and girls golf for us.
Well, I'm Graham Overman, also a senior. Boys golf had a pretty disappointing season. We didn't do it. I was disappointed at our last tournament at the IMC Championship, because I missed out on regionals by 3 strokes. But it was fun to just have a last season with all the seniors.
You bet. You bet. Great. And the girls are competing at regionals today and tomorrow, so that's why they're not here. But
Right now, they're placed 3rd.
Oh.
They have one more round tomorrow.
I
Very
would
nice.
like Graham to share his plans for next year.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna go attend the University of Iowa and study pre-law.
He's coming there. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. All right, baseball. I saw some baseball television. Coach Cochran. It's Coach Cochran's first year as head baseball coach. Doing a fantastic job. Take it away,
Hey,
sir.
thank you guys so much. We're really excited just to be here, but I've got a couple guys that represent our team, and obviously this year is my first year as being the head baseball coach, and us getting switched into the IMC is a juggernaut of baseball. They back last week there was 5 teams that were in the top 15, all came from our league, and so the one thing I'm super proud of these guys is they keep showing up every day, grinding, getting better, focusing on fundamentals. Is that this conversation, in fact, we had today of taking it back to basics every day, just getting a little bit better, a little bit better. But one of the really cool things is we added a 3rd team this year. We got enough players out that we have a varsity JV and a JV2, which is gonna do nothing but help us in the future. And so I'll have introduced these guys. These guys are kind of our heart and soul. We have 2 seniors this year. One of them's here. One of them's up at 6th grade camp being a counselor, which is awesome. So go for it.
Paul Martinez again, I'm a senior. Carson Wilkins, I'm a junior.
Yeah. Mr. Martinez, do you have any plans after high school?
I'm gonna play baseball at Shasta Community College with my brother and his best friend.
Very good. Could you come and see me tomorrow too, please? Thank you. This is great for me too. I'm learning things I didn't know. Anything else to share?
Well, not for baseball, but I plan on attending Boise State University.
Oh, good. Yes, please.
History.
Sweet. It's awesome.
Right.
What are you studying at Shasta?
Majoring in business.
Yes.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Do we have girls and boys tennis represented? I know I see boys tennis represented. The lone.
Got a coach.
Yes. Thank you very much. Mr. Ryan? Floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, so again, like everyone else, we've moved up to IMC this year. We had, I think, over 10 seniors graduate last year. So we've got a young team. We're kind of in a bit of a rebuilding, but we've got 5 seniors. I'll let you introduce yourself first.
I'm Malachi Walker, a senior.
Yeah, so Malachi is our #1 singles. We're prepping for districts this week. State would be next week. Our 1 and 2 singles are going to team up together and try and make a route to state through doubles. So yeah, we're really excited. We like to hit our stride right at the very end. We are coming off 2 district championships on the boys' side, 2 5th place in state on the boys' side. So there's a lot of kind of energy and momentum as we go into this year, even if it's been kind of a tricky regular season. The girls, I believe, are just going through practice right now. I think they've had the same type of, they're growing team, and there's always kind of growing pains when you move into the 5A IMC. But I know that they're also looking. Tennis is an interesting sport because it's a team of 12 varsity players, but you can go individually. So you're looking at the team aspect, but then we're putting in a lot of work after hours to work on his individual game. And I think you might have to have a conversation with Mr. Bonner tomorrow also, if you haven't already, but why don't you tell everybody what your plans are for next year?
I am going to play over in Arizona at Ottawa University, to study financial planning.
Very nice. He's already on my list. He's first on the list, actually. Mr. Walker, thank you. Yeah, the ladies aren't here because they're at practice, but they're having a great year. Paxton Duels is leading that charge and doing a wonderful job. Growing numbers, so that's a lot of fun. Ladies flag football. Yes. Tabari's playing double duty there. Brad Kudlak is the head coach, Jeremy McLean is an assistant, and Cody V is another assistant. They're doing fantastic. Jeremy, thank you for being here. Go ahead.
Is there girls that are?
We have doubles, we have softball coming.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we're not done yet.
Sorry.
Lots going on.
I'll just calm down.
Well, this is our second year of playing football, and the sport has grown tremendously. Last year we had 3 teams in our league. This year we had 7.
Awesome.
One of our big challenges is, as you can see, most of our girls play more than just flag football. So we started out a little rough, we're a little young. We have 1 senior on the team. Everybody else is freshmen, sophomores, a couple of juniors, and we have a bright future ahead of us. Just trying to figure out a schedule to get everybody there when we can.
Ladies.
I'm Tatum, I'm a senior. I'm Tavari, I'm a freshman. I'm Hudson, I'm a junior.
Awesome, lady.
I got to watch 2 games and you ladies are gritty. It's fun. Hopefully next year I'll get to see a lot more, but it was a blast watching you guys. It was great.
Thank you.
Yep.
What's fun about flag and volleyball is starting something new. It's kind of started like a club, right? And so it's a couple days a week. Most kids are doing multiple sports at that time. So when kids can all show up together, right? So when you watch the flag football ladies show up and they have a full team, very, very hard to beat. But then they're pulled different ways. They're honoring other sports. And so that's the balance we're fighting now. But when they're all there and there's the talent is undeniable. So it's fun to watch. Yeah. Softball. Tabari's there. Coach Shay, go ahead.
My name's Shay. I am the softball coach for these girls. It's my second year as their coach and let them.
I'm Tavari, I'm a freshman.
I'm Jenna Martinez, I'm a senior.
I'm Grayson Klein, I'm a junior.
Yep, and they we're in the same situation as baseball a little bit, going in the INC. And 5A this year has been tough. We have 4 seniors, 5 seniors, 1 that is on JV and the other 4 are up on varsity. But I want to say one of our highlights this year was Ridgeview was last year's 5A state champion, and we lost to them by 1 run last week. So that just shows how much they've grown this season, as well as how tough they've been this year, battling it out with 3 of the 3 teams in our league that are top 10 in 5A this year, and the defending state champions as well. So
Awesome. Ms. Martinez, could you tell us your plans?
I got a scholarship to play at Mount Hood Community College for volleyball.
That's awesome. Nice.
Physical therapy.
Nice.
I also got to watch you guys play a couple times. And I can say the same thing about that team. Gritty and hustle and really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you so much. I think we got most of them. And to sum it up, our academic all state, which is very, very important. Boys volleyball, tied for 4th with LaSalle Prep. Their team GPA is a 3.55. Boys track and field, 8th place with a 3.60 GPA. Girls track and field, 10th place with a team GPA of 3.75. And those that didn't make the top 10, boys golf at 11th with a 3.57, very, very good. Baseball 11th with a GPA of 3.43, and our band group 11th with a team GPA of 3.35. So they're representing us very well academically as well. And then 19th, 20th, 24th with stellar GPAs. So just because we're not in the top 10 doesn't mean we have poor GPAs. So across the board, they're doing very, very well. Yeah.
Does it not warm your heart to see all the opportunities that our students are doing from middle school to high school?
It's a lot.
It's just
It's great.
something that you can be really proud about.
Mhm. I'm very proud of it too.
And somebody that has all the energy to keep up with it.
I don't know if I have that,
Slow down at all.
but thank you guys for just supporting, like you do, year after year. It's special and it's not lost on us. So thank you very much.
Let's give Rob.
Okay, so we're gonna move to 4.0 student feedback. Over to you, Dr. Huff.
No, Sophie, we can't do this without Sophie.
Well, now hold on.
Spur of the moment. Kingston, who was here as part of the drama recognition. I convinced him on the side to stick around.
I think you said 5 minutes.
I said 5 minutes, so I've already not been through. Kingston, are you good to just come up? And
Cause we're gonna grill you.
I recorded about 7 minutes ago to let so go, and I promised him fun, so remember that, Mr.
I would usually attend, but I have been working Mondays the past like 6 months, and I just now got my Mondays and Tuesdays cleared up. Unfortunately.
Here you are.
That is one of our awesome students that is in our leadership class, so once a month, Dr. Van Rokel and I just have a standing meeting that's actually become kind of a fun routine. I encourage you guys to join if you ever can. We kind of go through the topics on the board agenda, but then a lot of times we go beyond that. So we figured we'd still share that. So what's going well? Kingston, chime in if I miss anything. The first thing that one student said was the AAOT. Now that is students can earn an Associates of Arts transfer degree. One student said that was the best part of our high school was having that opportunity. I have some numbers. So in case you're wondering the scope, we currently have 11 seniors on that track. We have 17 juniors that are on the track earning their AAOT. We have 5 sophomores and we have 18 freshmen. So that has become a real pathway for students and really valuable. Doesn't work for every student, but those that are on it can really benefit from it. Another thing students mentioned going well was kind of like what you just saw, sports and extracurricular funding. They especially noted having that Ruger bus and shipping our cheerleaders and our band to that basketball tournament was really something special. They loved the flexibility of being able to take online option classes at the high school. The Sparrow program was something we brought back to the high school where they're raising money for a young student. So that's been great. Shout out to Mr. Hoffman. They said supportive administration has been nice. And they look to expand the leadership class partnership with administration moving forward. And then they also said just improvements from last year. Some areas we want to improve that the students mentioned was something that we talked about at the board level too. Looking at, we offer the AAOT, offering the AST, the Associates of Science transfer degree, something Dr. Van Rokel's been working on as well. We're down, I think, 2 classes, physics and organic chemistry, potentially.
Advanced, like beyond AP physics.
Beyond AP physics. So that's something we're working on, and we actually met with COCC last week, and we'll continue to establish that.
So that project seems to be moving at the speed of molasses. Is that on our side or COCC side?
It's a little both. So because the science is that advanced, it needs to be a lab science, I believe. And getting a lab science at the COCC Prineville course or campus has been tricky. It's not something they can just take online. So that's where the holdup is, but it's something that we're actually continuing to work on. So the goal is by next year to have that pathway that students can be in.
Have we done an interest study to know how many kids want to?
We can put out a survey just informally, anecdotally. It was the students brought this up on their own at leadership, so that does indicate that there is some student interest. Hey, we have a student right here. Yeah.
You don't have to raise your hand, just in a minute. This is your time.
Sophie and I both represent the student voice committee for leadership. So that's definitely a survey we can send out to figure out what student interest is looking like for classes in the future. Something that we haven't necessarily thought of, but it's definitely important to think about.
Love to hear your perspective on
Well,
that.
I'd also like to hear any others that you would like advanced courses. I've heard a couple of kids mention like government or history, other avenues. So if they have other ideas.
I know personally I'd love a macroeconomics class. Any more econ classes? We only have like 2.
Could you elaborate a little bit around, when you're talking about continuing to expand the leadership class partnership, where do you see opportunity for that?
I think this year has been very great. Last year, we didn't have much communication at all outside of our leadership teacher talking with admin. But at the school level, ASB meets with the school admin once a month to talk about ideas that we have from each committee. Because there's been issues where we will plan something, we'll get everything set up for it, students are ready for it, we'll post about it on social media, and then admin realizes we haven't discussed this at all, we can't do this legally, or we wouldn't like to do it for the school. Sort of like just a high school level. It's very nice to have that communication so we don't waste our time and resources doing something that we can't do. But also, I mean, with how we've been meeting with Mrs. Van Rokel and Dr. Hoff here, being able to discuss what's going on at a broader level throughout our school district is very important to us, considering we're the highest form of like public school, I guess. And we recently just went to the middle school to talk about future leadership stuff, try to get them involved. That's something that I think next year would be very amazing, is to maybe have these guys talk with the 8th grade leadership class in middle school, figure out issues that they have, and maybe the high school can help out with it. With just communication overall with the school board going forward about extracurricular activities, community events for fundraising, and just seeing what issues, like, again, we have issues with our facilities, particularly the bathrooms, as I'm sure, yes, they're doing great. They're doing a lot better than they were at the beginning of the year. But these are things that have been going on all 4 years that I've been at high school, when we haven't talked with anyone outside of ourselves, I mean, in our peers. So having that availability to talk to people who can actually make a change on things that aren't just student involvement and participation is very important.
We're gonna go back to the AST for a minute. My recollection from our previous conversation was, in order to get the associates in business, we needed the AST, because it's not an associate of arts, it's an associate of science. We've got all the classes we need, I think, for the business side. We need some of those hard science classes for the more rigorous science type.
Yeah, they're really rigorous science classes that we need for
But
this.
you don't need those for the business degree.
For the business, no.
And that's the holdup, is we can't help the business kids because we don't have the AST.
Well, I think it's, the other thing too is like, how many of the kids are in the AP physics class?
Right.
And so then we're talking about adding another more advanced, and I'm all for it, I'm just saying like, hey, if we have 10 people in AP physics, and then we're gonna push them to the next science level, like, just some common sense. I just want us to talk about that, I guess. Like,
Sorry.
yeah, please.
I love-
Why?
Speaking on that,
Yes.
AP Physics actually has a pretty good number of students this year. I don't know, probably about 30. Same last year. AP Chemistry also, we had to split into 2 classes because of how many students we had. I think that a lot of that goes down to Lombach, and he's an amazing teacher, but he is overloaded. I mean, with AP Physics and AP Chemistry, this year I'm pretty sure he tried out with Mr. Smith teaching physics, which he previously taught physics, AP Chem, honors chemistry, so many classes. So the only issue I'd see with adding like an AP Physics 2 or another advanced physics class, which I think students would be definitely interested, I know I would have personally done it, is just figuring out who would teach that, and if it were to be Lombach, how that would fit in with his schedule.
Well, and it doesn't have to be taught in the high school. It can be taught by the college. If we could ever get the bell schedule aligned, which we've been talking about for 5 years, I can't move it. I'm married to the damn board chair and I can't move it. So I mean, that's the answer. Get COCC to do some of this stuff. They can teach it here.
We've been really encouraged by the collaboration with the new president of COCC, Dr. Pereira. So I think now is the time that we might be able to make some of those inroads.
It's not rocket science, but boy, it is hard.
We had a conversation?
Yeah.
Hey, a couple other improvements. Kingston, help me out with this one. I can happily report to the board that all stalls at the high school have doors on them. However,
achievement, Mr. Superintendent.
Kingston, help me on this. I think that had not been accomplished before. The problem is the doors we have now have giant gaps around the sides, so that's the next thing.
Not a door, yeah.
That's some students would agree with you, Mr. Bradley. Another thing, actually, Kingston, I think it's be more funding for performing arts. The field trips down to, I think, the Shakespeare Festival. putting on productions, more funding for performing arts. This one was interesting. So students, some students talked about the value of, hey, I meet with my counselor once a year and that's been super helpful in planning. While other students said they hadn't had that opportunity. So looking at how can we systemize to make sure every student gets called down every year to work through that. We talked about the leadership class improvements, teachers use of AI and students use of AI. It's still, we've made some inroads, but still kind of the Wild West and you can get some clarity around that. And then something we've all talked about, navigating cell phones. Some students still sneak them in class and making sure that we have consistent, I don't know if enforcement is the right word, but consistent implementation of no cell phones in class. Kingston, did I miss anything?
No, maybe I'd expand on the performing arts thing. I mean, obviously this year was amazing. Show by Chicago, Frog and Toad, and 12 Angry Jurors all performed amazingly. But even with that, we're still $2,000 in debt. And that comes down to state. We send probably about 30 kids to the state thespian convention in Salem, and it's an amazing trip. It's so much fun. And students have to pay probably about $150, and there's not much room for financial aid coverage for that. And even with our benefactors from like Kiwanis and the Booster Club, we also do a pint night, a wow ride. It's all incredibly expensive. And I think being able to take more students on trips like the Shakespeare Festival would really drive engagement and hopefully get more kids involved in the arts, particularly drama.
Awesome. Yeah, so something definitely has to keep back in on.
How much do we spend to send athletic teams to districts and state competitions? Do we have parity in that?
I believe, I know the district, the last couple of years have chipped in extra for the Shakespeare Festival. That's something that Ann and I can dig into and get back to you on making
It'd
sure.
be good to just know that we do have parity.
Yeah.
And they're both important. We aren't gonna spend more, but we can spend the same day.
I recruited Kingston to do this about 15 years ago. He did an amazing job. Let's give him a big round of applause. Any questions from the board?
So I think you should go to Ace Hardware, ask them about this product called weather stripping. We put around the doors, the small doors.
It's this big.
A lot of weather stripping.
Look, Leland is conveniently in the back row with his head down. But yes, actually, shout out to our maintenance department. They jumped on that as soon as we brought that request, so we'll get those gaps filled.
When we get to that.
Kingston, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Kingston.
Of course.
Now go enjoy your evening.
Yes,
Your
thank you guys.
free night.
Was that fun?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Again, I would come to these, I've been working. But they're important.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you guys so much.
It's good information to know. I really enjoy that part because they are telling us things that we don't know about.
Full students up here all night long.
Love it.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay, 5.0, approval of the consent agenda.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda. Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve in a second to, on the consent agenda. Do we have any discussion?
I just wanted to, as we voted on this, call out on the consent agenda, the retirement of longtime teachers, Valerie Nixon and Laura Graydon, who have given this district valiant service over many, many years and will be much missed by many families.
First retirement.
First retirement.
Oh, they are coming back. Well, it doesn't say that. Well, it does say that. I didn't pick that up. Okay, so they're gonna teach again.
They're still going.
That's fabulous.
Right.
I still like.
Still like.
Do we have any other discussion on this? Okay, let's vote. Kelsey? Yes. Scott?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
And yes as well. Thank you. Okay, 6.0, the finance report. Miss Anna.
On the finance report, I want to talk about enrollment and how that affects state school fund revenue. If you look at page 3 of the finance report, I always have, state school fund revenue on line 4. And as we go throughout the year, the enrollment starts to drop in January and just kind of steadily drops as we have early graduates. And that affects our state school fund revenue. I've mentioned this before, ODE continues to pay us based on our December enrollment.
So then we end up owing money back the following year. So I estimate how much that's gonna be and I book a liability in the year that it's for. So for the 24-25, on line 5, the 24-25 adjustment, we now know what that's gonna be. We will be paying back $564,000 to ODE.
Is that all early graduation?
Not necessarily. It's enrollment changes throughout the year anyway, just because there are students who leave for various other reasons. And it's all very normal. From year to year, we kind of see the same thing. But I do want to mention that I planned for most of that $564,000. So it's really not going to be an impact to us. And then in the line 4, where I'm estimating this year's state school fund revenue, I'm assuming we're gonna be paying back again next year, some of the money that we're receiving this year. That's really all I have on the finance report.
So Anna, looking at the online, which is down 30 to 19, and the Grizzly Mountain Home Link is up 206 to 180. Are those trading? Are those online kids moving into Grizzly Home Link? We know that?
I don't think that's necessarily what's happening.
So a lot of those Grizzly Mountain Home Link ads are students from, that were traditionally homeschooled that have re-engaged with the district.
Is there an opportunity to pick up enrollment through online with promotion?
That's, for our actually Crook County online option, we typically don't see a ton of full-time enrolled students, just because a lot of families don't like the full screen time. So a lot of families would shift to GMH. County online option is mainly, like say 19, but its greater function is providing the one-off electives at the high school.
Any other questions on the finance report? The other big thing that's going on right now is it's budget season. And our timing for budget meetings is a little later than usual. So Dr. Hoff wants to give a kind of a high level budget overview to the board tonight, just because we're kind of.
Yeah, so if you've opened a newspaper, you've seen that education budgets across the state really are in an interesting, difficult place. I'm going around to each school staff meeting and providing just a quick overview. So here's some headlines, just kind of setting the stage. So this is from Salem Kaiser Public Schools to cut 129 jobs. This is from the Ben Lapine $7 million budget crunch could mean staff cuts. This one's the most alarming to me. A state audit warns Vancouver Public Schools has only 4 days of cash remaining. Gresham Barlow District cut 70 jobs, including teachers. This one, I'm disgusted. Springfield Schools cut 36 teachers mid-year. Portland Public may see $50 million budget cuts, eliminating nearly 300 jobs. Eugene 4J, 200 plus employees layoffs. Teachers grieve as 4J layoff notices go out to hundreds. And then finally, Portland Public parent students brace for possible school closures. I think Portland came out there looking to close 5 to 10 schools in their district. So the natural question is, okay, what about Crook County? Where are we at? So we are projecting a $2.1 million deficit. So with that, our parties preserving student opportunities, prioritizing, avoiding staff layoffs, and then most of our avoiding school closures. So how are we closing that deficit? Just real overview. You start with what you can do behind the scenes, right? So we've eliminated or not planning contributions to reserves for the maintenance reserve, technology reserve, textbook reserve, and transportation reserve. Those are at a healthy place. So we're able to not contribute there next year. We do have a PERS reserve fund that we're looking to peel off a little bit and use. We're reducing our ending fund balance by $200,000. And then as we've talked about before, about 80% of the school district's budget is personnel. So that's where it's really tricky because we try to avoid any impacts to personnel. And good news is we're able to do this without any layoffs at this point. So we have reduced a district office administrator position. We reduced the teacher mentor FTE and absorbed those responsibilities into what will be a vacant graduation coach that serves Pioneer in the high school. We're combining a Crook County Middle School classified position, and we're combining a high school classified position. And then we are reducing 3 elementary school teachers' positions based off class sizes, and we're able to assign those teachers into vacancies. And what that looks like, for example, 2 in-town schools, for example, at Barnes Butte, we have these cohorts that have smaller student sizes. So believe at the 4th grade. So we have a class size of 16, 17, 17, 17. So what we're able to do for next year is instead of having 4 teachers, we're going to move that down to 3 teachers. And those class sizes go to 23, 23, 24, which is still below our target of 26 students in a 3-5 classroom. So that's happening at 2 in-town schools. And then we're seeing a similar scenario at a rural school, but we've had some pretty good developments in the last week. So I wanted to just provide some context and overview and really drill down. So that would be Paulina. And if we look at Paulina's enrollment, you can see on the screen. So we typically, this is the enrollment, this yellow line is the number of students over the last 5 years. So typically, or sorry, the blue line is the number of students. So typically between 20 or 30. And then we started to see a dip. So this year it's down to 13. This yellow line is the number of staff. So they had the axis over here, about 4.5 staff. We dropped half a classified staff. So they currently are at 2 classified staff, building support. They have 1 classified operational staff, and then they currently have 2 teachers for those 13 students. Projected at this point, and these numbers are very fluid. Right now, they were projecting 14 students, an increase of 1 next year. So this would be dropping that 2nd certified teacher. So they would have 1 certified teacher. That teacher would shift to the vacancy in Brothers. So that way that person's able to stay employed, and they'd have 1 teacher and 2 classified support positions for those 13, 14 students. However, we've been working a lot over the last week. It's kind of become my obsession. And there's this idea, this natural question of like, well, how many students would they have to maintain their staffing level of 2 certified and 2 classified? So the magic number here is 19 students. And then that would maintain those 4 staff members. So here's what we're doing. I went out to Plano on Wednesday. Mrs. Lowenbach joined me. Great drive out there. And increasing enrollment is the key for long-term staffing. That is our solution. You know, budgets come and go. We have to have students to justify the staffing. So my commitment is working with families. So they're Wednesday, then we had a follow-up virtual meeting on Friday. I'm going to meet with them every Friday, seeing what we can do to get that enrollment number up. And I have a lot of ideas. Some are good, a couple are bad. So bear with me. We're trying a lot of things. So we are working with the local community to recruit any homeschool students in the region. Just when I was meeting with them on Wednesday, there was a family, a father who had 3 homeschool students. So working with them, looking at how we can make it work to potentially get them enrolled. We're contacting any student with a post kind of Primeville address that's close to see if they'd be interested in a smaller school, smaller model. We're exploring foreign exchange student programs. So
like Mitchell did.
Mitchell runs half of their ADM is foreign exchange students. Paulina is a K-8, so you don't see as many high school exchange students, but there is 1 program in the state of Oregon that brings in middle school students. So I have their name and contact. We're exploring, this is I think the most promising strategy. We're exploring hybrid models to partner with prospective students at other ranches. So think of Grizzly Mountain only, where students come in twice a week, they work online twice a week. Apparently there's a ranch close by that has a number of students that are in a model with another school district that's further away. Paulina, the building's actually closer. So if we could replicate that model at Paulina and bring those students, say, hey, it's closer 2 days a week to come to Paulina, we think we could increase enrollment. All said, I think we're already past that 19 potential. Now we just need to go out and recruit those students to join. Like I said, I've got some bad ideas too. Door-to-door recruitment, I'm told that is not a good idea, but I
realize how big ranches. Doors are far.
Like I said, it's a waste of your time, but I'll try and I'd rather go down swinging, right? And then also talking with ranch owners, just so they're aware of this situation and if they are recruiting. But again, that's apparently putting a burden on ranch owners. So, but we're gonna try everything we can. Those are some options. So increase enrollment is the key to long-term stability there. Because budgets could be great, but if there aren't students at a school, we can't send additional staff out there. So in terms of also increase enrollment, we're also going to look at, there's been questions about, well, how can we mess with the budget to see if we can make any progress there. So we're exploring if there's any additional, we identified, I think, 2 federal rural grants as well as a migrant workers grants. We're looking into that. I've contacted, it's Harney County to, they were listed as a exemplar model to see if there's any strategies that we're missing for running extremely rural schools. Exploring, are there any other cost saving measures out at Paulina? And then the families out there, both Wednesday and Friday, they've asked, well, can we look anywhere else in the district and trim, potentially trim somewhere else in the district to kind of shelter Paulina? And then also, these are like good, awesome people out there. And they said, could we find someone who would donate if we needed to cover the difference for students? So if we are able to get 19 students enrolled at Paulina, we could continue to fund the same 2 teachers, keep the teacher that's currently there that they love and want to advocate for. We can keep them there. We just have to get those 19 students. So that's what we're going to be working hard on the next, really until August is when we would have to make a decision. So the next question, if we're unable to get those 19 students registered and have to shift that teacher, what are we going to do to make it work? So we've looked at a number of different ways to support. So we increased Paulina support staff, send additional sped teachers out there on certain days, increase the admin support structure, as well as increase staff that are funded by the early literacy grant. And what that would look like. So Paulina is 4 days a week. So what we think we can do, and this is a model where we're continuing to kind of brainstorm and work with families, work with staff on this. We've talked about on Mondays, they'd have a teacher and 2 classified positions for those 14 students or what it ends up being. And then on Tuesdays, we'd be able to, we have some early literacy grant funded positions where we can say, you will head out to Paulina and work with staff to find something that works. So they'd have an additional certified staff member out there on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, we'd have our admin go out every other week and alternate that with a sped teacher. So there would be 2 teachers out there, 2 certified staff members out there 2 days a week. And then on Thursday, it would be the teacher and the 2 classified positions. We're also asking current staff what they need and analyzing, do they need additional training, additional days. So they identified 13 requests that they would like to have if they only had 1 certified teacher out there. We were able to say yes currently to all those requests. A lot of them are logistical. And then finally, working with staff to identify efficiencies. For example, there's as part of one of the classified staff members' day, there's an hour and a half of library every day. Whereas when you think of a school like Steensviller with 20 times the student, they just have the teachers do the library part. So finding how can we keep that library open and adjust the roles and duties to really maximize student time and student support. Just on next steps, our budget committee, where we'll go a lot deeper in this, is next week, next Tuesday and Thursday. We're continuing, I'm continuing. I've got a standing meeting Fridays afternoon with Paulina families. They are fantastic people that love their school and love their staff and want to continue to advocate. And we want to work side by side with them to say, how can we get those students up there? Making sure we're looking at this from every angle possible. Like I said, we need to make a decision by August 1st. So that kind of puts a timeline on it. And then next Tuesday and Thursday, we'll have, this is just kind of an overview, but we'll have deeper conversations at the budget committee. That's all I got.
You, I just put the email Anna sent me earlier today on the top of your email. Can you pull up that chart? I want to show that a little bit. Should be the top email. On there. Yeah. This is gonna be kind of hard to see, but it's that graph up the top we're gonna look at. So I asked Joel to ask Anna if he can pull some numbers for the last 10 years. This data shows you, the blue line is the average cost of a certified staff member. The orange line is the average cost of a classified staff member. And the gray line is our average income per student for the last 10 years.
Where is the gray line?
You have to hold that.
Oh, that, oh.
Notice that upward trend on the blue line, slightly less upward on the orange line, and the flat gray line. Starting about 2020, our labor costs started rising disproportionately to what was happening with our student support. This is about the time, not too long after that, that Portland Public went on strike. And every legislator and the governor and every person in the state of Oregon who was influential and powerful put pressure on Portland Public to settle that strike, get those kids back in school, and make a ridiculous increase in the cost of living. I think it was 11% increase when they got done. It set we said then, you're setting a tone we're all gonna have to live with. The state of Oregon never stepped up to the plate after it said, you gotta fix this problem with extra funding. You can see that on the line. They just said, well, you're gonna have to cut it from somewhere else in order to pay for the labor costs. You can do that, but when 90% of your budget is personnel, it means you're gonna be cutting people or you're gonna be cutting stuff. And that's exactly what harvest we are reaping today. The solution to this, long-term to this budget problem, which is gonna get worse because wages compound on each other over time, is to increase the revenue or reset the expectations around labor costs. You can't do both. There is no way to do it. And that's the fundamental challenges we head into this budget cycle and future budget cycles we're going to continue to face.
Then you got cost of purse.
Unless you do something about that grade. If you want it, you can have it, but you got to pay for it. There is no such thing as free lunch, except maybe.
So stay tuned. We are continuing to work. I'm gonna go down swinging on this. You'll find me roaming the country roads of Paulina yelling for kids. But I really think we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna make it. I truly believe we've already identified students that we believe that we can get to that 19 number. So stay tuned. More to come at the budget meeting next Tuesday or Thursday.
I just want to say, Rihanna, I'm really glad you reached out and just a ton of respect for you and your community, your advocacy. So. Yeah.
In the event that Paulina does manage to keep the staff member there, is there still a need in Brothers?
Yes, there is. And the good news is, with other districts layoffs in the region and state, we believe we could still post to August 1 or before then and get a good candidate to fill that brother spot. Okay.
Joel. Okay, 6.2, approval of the Chromebook expenditure.
We have one-on-one student Chromebooks, and they're on a life cycle replacement plan. So a certain percentage of them get to the end of their life and need to be replaced every year. So we set aside funds in the tech reserve to make sure that we can do that. And so every year we will purchase Chromebooks, and every year will probably be over $150,000. So because of the policy that requires board approval of expenditures over 150,000, we come to you and say, will you please approve this purchase? And we are asking for the board to approve an amount up to 250,000 for Chromebooks.
Up to.
I remember a few years ago, Madam Chairman, when the board was having a fit of economy, we didn't replace Chromebooks. And we paid so dearly for that with those miserable machines that didn't work. I very much move to approve this expenditure of up to 250,000 for Chromebooks.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the table to approve the expenditure of up to $250,000. Do we have further discussion? I did ask the question, what is the lifespan of a Chromebook? Because I wasn't 100% sure.
Middle school or?
Well, okay, so I know for my own work, they tell me it should last 3 to 4 years in my work, and I'm an adult, so they said 5 years is a lifespan, when I thought that was pretty, yeah, exactly. So, anyhow.
And we don't just get rid of them if they're 5 years.
Right, yes, yes, that is true. They do not just go by the wayside. They do try and fix them if they can be fixed. Yes, that is. Do we have further discussion? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Eric,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
and yes as well. Thank you for that, Anna. Thank you. Okay, 7.0 superintendent update, 7.1 graduation ceremony, Dr. Hoff.
Yeah, believe it or not, this is the last time we're all together before graduation. So we thought we'd do some quick reminders. Monday, baccalaureate, completely optional. Tuesday's gonna be that senior awards night, which is always fun. Even more fun, Wednesday will be the senior trip to Canada, which has become a student favorite. One thing I would encourage the board, if you can make it, the senior breakfast, we shifted that to the high school. And it's a ton of fun. I believe there was a breakfast sausage eating contest
There
last
was,
time that you
yeah.
gotta be careful with, but a lot of fun. The tour of schools is always something really special where we have our seniors walk through all the elementaries in their cap and gown. So that's something we're really excited about. Okay, then we get to Friday where it really starts to take off. We do that like we had before, that half day at the high school and the middle school. Because the staging for the parade begins at 1 p.m. The parade, Tammy, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll have, if any board members interested, we set up a spot at the GMH campus. Lots of fun seeing the parade. It's really become a community tradition. And then Friday, you're going to want to arrive at the high school at 6 o'clock. We'll meet there. And then we walk over to the fairgrounds. The ceremony begins right around 6:30 and the board members attend. There is an awesome website that our tech department put together that has a graduation countdown. It's got all the details in case you missed anything. Check it out. You just Google Crook County High School graduation 2026. So great work from the high school team. It is a ton of work, ton of pressure on our high school admin, but they're doing a great job with all their systems. Because it's the last time we're going to be together before graduation, every year it seems like we do something a little different around board members shaking hands and handing out diplomas. And we have a saying that clear is kind. So I wanted to get very clear and don't make fun of my animation. But so the board is going to be sitting over here. Dr. Van Rokel will always also be with them. And then there'll be some people on the stage. When it comes time to present and hand out diplomas, the board has said they want to rotate through. So everyone comes up to the stage at one point. Scott has a nephew involved. So here's how that works. Hang with me. So when it's time, Dr. Van Roek will be there. And we'll start with typically the chair and vice chair. We'll figure out when your nephew is. So that might change and we'll email that out. But when it comes time for the first group of students, 2 of you will walk up on stage. Nice. Three will negate that. We'll go through about 1/5 of the people. When the next 5th comes, the person that is handing, so you've got 2 people, one hands the diploma to the board member who then hands it to the kid. They will shift spots and Bree will send the next board member to the stage and rotate through it. It is not,
Was this hard to do?
this was not hard to do. It is not complicated. So we will just rotate through every 5th. Dr. Van Rokel will not send you the wrong way. We'll make sure you're with your nephew and 2 members will be on the stage at all times.
We're not gonna be tested.
Yeah, I do have a question about the symbolism of that without messing with it.
Yeah.
The diploma is conferred by the Board of Education and the superintendent of schools. You certify that diploma. Traditionally, the superintendent has handed the diploma to the board member to represent both sides of that. If you're not there, then we're breaking that.
Oh, I will be up there.
But
What
you
we
have
can
a part in
yeah.
conferring that. That's an important part of
We'll
it.
make sure, so I would be sticking with the diagram in between. I hand the diploma to who's handing it, and then
The hand to the hander to the hander.
yes.
Wow.
So I think the way
Oh,
we did it,
Yeah.
was it last year, is Steve and I were up there.
Yeah,
And you handed it, so you handed them to me, and then I handed it to Steve. Steve would shake hands, and then we would rotate, and then he would hand it to Steve. Steve would hand it to me, and then I would shake hands and we'd rotate. But there's only two of us
it
rotating.
seems
the whole thing.
simple, but it is, and it goes quick,
It goes
so.
very quick.
I will be handed, there's a box, I will hand to the board member, the board will hand to the board, so yes, we'll keep that going.
The only
Absolutely
thing
right.
is swapping, switching.
Yep, I'll take care of you.
We'll send,
Will you?
and it's,
Now that you got your doctorate?
Yes.
I don't know, we'll have to see about that, but I will make sure that you know where to be, I promise.
I want to make, may sound silly, but this thing is freighted with symbolism. Everything we do up there is somehow symbol, and it's all important. It makes a statement and keeps us in line with tradition.
Yeah.
And so I want to be hyper vigilant about not breaking
yes,
that long chain of tradition. Your hat is important because you worked hard to get it and you deserve it. Your robes are important.
Yeah.
Your role is important.
yes.
You know, that
So-
symbolism of crossing the stage and going from the school community to the general community is important.
Yes.
It all matters in the end. And if we do it right, even though people may not understand it, they see it, they feel it.
Right.
If we mess it up just because it was more convenient, we're breaking something.
It seems simple, and it's better to have it figured out here than when 3,000 to 5,000 people are looking. So, we'll get it going. We'll send out an email reminder.
I won't let you do it.
We'll make sure you're up there, and it actually, in terms of like your duties as a board member, being up there on stage, handing diplomas, shaking hands, it is one of the best. So it should be a lot of fun.
So a couple years ago, we did a couple things. We were trying to engage faculty further. And we invited faculty to wear their robes and their stoles to add to
was
that
really fun.
symbolism, which I think is important. We also invited all staff to attend and participate, not just high school staff, to focus on the fact that it's an all community effort to educate our kids from K all the way to. Well, I hope we're still following
do that, yeah.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
It means a lot to the staff members who, in the past, it's been a lot of staff members who have kids graduating. They're an elementary teacher. It's special that they have, kind of special students. So that's something we definitely.
And when they wear their robes, not their shorts, they look like they're part of the academic community.
All right. Any other questions?
Just follow Dr. Van Roekel's, like my things.
Can't go wrong. Okay. Thanks, guys.
So, okay. 7.2, student code of conduct. Dr. Bruin is next.
All right, so what you have in front of you is the code of conduct, and I want to first recognize the individuals who helped craft this. So a group of K-12 administrators came together and said, let's align practices and create a document that's really cohesive for our school district to utilize when it comes to discipline and interventions. So the purpose of this is to increase transparency and clarity for families, while also having a thorough guide for administrators to be using when they are dealing with disciplinary consequences. And I hope that some of the recurring themes are family engagement in the process, because we want families to be highly communicated with when these situations are going on. And then an effort to, restore those behaviors and bring out positive behaviors in students. So this has been, again, it was developed by administrators, and then it was reviewed by students in the leadership class. The family steering committee reviewed it, as well as Melinda Thomas at the High Desert ESD. And I just thought it was wise to bring it before you all and get any of your feedback. It will be implemented this fall with the student handbook. So it's kind of just an additional layer of information for families to know, okay, if my student does this at school, I can expect to see this range of consequences. Always, things like IEPs and the age and the past disciplinary behaviors will be considered. And that language is spelled out in there. questions?
Over this part of it.
Yes.
So I noticed, and obviously this is gonna be more high school related, but like the very first one, alcohol possession, student is found to have alcohol in locker, bathroom, backpack, or on their person, unauthorized. What about vehicles? What about
Yes,
their
it-
vehicles on campus?
It would include vehicles
Does
as
include that?
Yes.
Does that need to be verbalized there? I don't know.
I will add that for sure. That's a
And
great
that
catch.
goes along, vehicle there, vehicle,
Marijuana, all the,
marijuana.
yes, all of them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all of them, so.
We will fix that.
Along those same lines, I was just curious about, we have these very specific and identical approaches to alcohol and tobacco and marijuana. But then we have this more generic one-liner about other drugs. Why don't we have the same level of specificity about other substances? Would we not follow the same protocol?
No, we would follow the same protocol. So that's a great catch. Absolutely. That will be added.
Was there any big changes from last year?
So this is reflecting practice, but this is a new document to the district. To help strengthen our practices really. And it was interesting to have the K-12 administrators together and writing it. To see different perspectives and to be able to have that fleshed out in one document, I think is a great practice for our school district. And it replicates what we researched a lot of other larger school districts, especially in the making of this, and tried to replicate it after some of those.
And we have references to expulsion and suspension. What is expulsion? Is that removal from all school activity? If you were
Yes.
removed from one class, what is that? Expulsion or suspension?
That,
Like they just can't go to that one class. They can go to all other classes.
I wouldn't call that either, but maybe that should be
Perhaps we need
some more specific language on that would be wise to add, absolutely.
Believe a draft that the board has worked on years ago plans to come to the board, comes to the policy committee, which we'll bring to the board because that.
I think we would want to have that in place by September.
Yeah.
Because it is, I've seen it happen. It's a little messy. It's neither expulsion nor suspension. The absence of guidance can create drama.
Absolutely. We will resolve that. Thank you.
Does anybody have anything else?
I know it's a lot of information to look at. If you think of anything else or, are continuing to read it tonight or for fun, feel free to send me an email and I can gladly address any additional changes.
I appreciate the approach that it was done systematically.
Mhm.
That's, I think, a sign of maturity within our organization that has really evolved, and so thanks for leading that.
Thank you.
Thank you. 7.3 wrestling room update. Sterling Lewis, join us.
All right. So about 6 months ago or so, we had a local contractor. And I was gonna call him today, see if he would be okay with me telling you who it was, and I couldn't get a hold of him, so I'm not gonna say who he is just yet, because I don't know if he wants anybody to know that. But he kind of approached Jim Fuel, who has been really trying to drive this thing with donations and whatnot. And he got really interested in doing it. And he got so interested that we have a building design that hasn't been submitted for permit yet. We have a site plan that has been submitted to the city and approved, and he's already ordered the building. The building will be here sometime around the first part of June. So we still got a ton of dirt work to do, pour the foundation, all kinds of stuff like that before we can put the building together. But the building is ordered. So it's going on the eastern side of the middle school, which is over by the creek, and it's just going to be extended right off the edge of the building there. One of the things that we have to do is the city required us to put a turnaround it through the playground for fire trucks. They have to be able to turn a fire truck around right next to the building. So that's one thing that we hadn't really had planned on in the beginning, because we were gonna try and use that access road that goes behind the school there, but they said no, so. That's about all I have on it right at the moment. Hopefully there's some more to come next month, and probably in July, I'll probably start seeing some ground get broken and some cool stuff happening.
Yeah, Leslie's trying to let you know.
I do not have a timeline. Not that close yet to know. I think of a lot of it may.
Around.
Around the corner.
So the biggest obstacle with the timeline right now is having a contractor that can actually say, yep, I'm gonna spend all my time doing this. Versus the other work that he has that pays big bucks. That would be the biggest thing.
So you have all this coordination and knowledge in your head, and you're gonna retire. How are we transmitting that to?
I document so much stuff. I have project plans and documents, and every project has folders and files, so there's lots of information there. It's not all in my head. I'm not that good.
Cause there's a lot of moving parts to this, but especially with donations, agreements, handshakes and that sort of thing. A lot to it.
So the site plan was approved, but the building design has not been.
It hasn't been submitted for a permit yet.
How long do you think that will take once you submit?
I always say I plan 6 to 8 weeks before a permit comes through, and usually you get it in about 4. But
Which takes 60.
yeah, I don't hold my breath on 4.
Yeah, okay. And where's the building going to be delivered?
I don't know, probably to that contractor's.
Oh.
Wherever his site, wherever he stores that kind of stuff with equipment and materials.
Okay. Any questions? Further questions? Keep us
Will it have
updated.
ventilation? Somebody who spends.
What's that?
Will it have ventilation?
It will have ventilation. It has to have windows.
The doors will open.
Has to have.
You have a fan with a fan.
It won't have bathrooms in it,
in there.
but we have to, we will plumb the infrastructure in for plumbing, so if we have to add it later, we can. But there's restrooms available right there right there inside the building, so they're actually close enough that they didn't require us to put bathrooms inside.
Okay.
Okay, long-range facilities plan. So the long-range facilities plan is not a bond plan. It's not a plan for us. That's not what our bond's gonna be. They're associated, and when we did the committee, we talked about both the whole time we were doing it. But in short, what it really is, it's just a guide that'll help you know what you need and when you're gonna need it. That's essentially what it tells us. So it consists of facilities condition assessments, FCIs, they call them. So the interesting thing about that is the architects did those, and then ODE sent a firm over and they did some too. I don't even have all of theirs back yet, but I do have some. So it'll be interesting to be able to take all that information and actually use it outside the plan, but use all that information together. The FCIs, if you look in there, they have ratings on them, but essentially what it does, it tells us the condition of the buildings and the systems and gives us an idea how long the systems are going to last. The thing about what they will give you in there is they will tell you that a boiler will only last 30 years, but we have several boilers in the district that are still running and they're almost 100 years old. So it depends on how well things are maintained and all that. I think they show in the plan or in the assessments that the high school needs a new roof. The high school is 30 years old, and that's about the life cycle of a metal roof. But that roof's fine. That roof does not need to be replaced right away. It can go probably another 10 years before it needs to be replaced, because that's probably a $20 million roof. So the information that's in there is all good information, but you have to really put eyes on things to ensure that it really needs to be.
Right, is there, and maybe you provided this, Elena, so I'm sorry, but it's like, is there like a common sense lens applied, because you listed out all these things, like, is there like another lens of, well, it says this, but that to show kind of the delta of like.
There is, so. I have this massive Excel workbook. That's what I call the facilities plan. So it has, all this stuff is in there, roofs, boilers, everything down to when we line the parking lots. And every year I'll pull it tells me when the last time we did whatever that was and when we are due to do it again. And I will pull all those up and then I'll actually go visually look at those to make sure that they need to be done. If they don't, then we don't do it. So yeah, there's a lot of common sense factor that goes into it with the visual inspections and making sure that that stuff needs to be done before you actually just say we're going to do it. It also has projections in there for population. It gives you other building information like square footage, your build. There's some handy stuff that's inside there. And then we did educational adequacy. And that kind of gave us an idea from actual people that are like boots on the ground, that are in the classrooms and in the school teaching, that know how well that building works for them when they're trying to teach kids. All right. The why of all this is that it gives us a look at our conditions and it gives us a plan or something that we can look at for like the next 5 to 10 years. And it qualifies us for a $10 million matching grant up to $10 million. It's not a guaranteed 10 that you can apply for through ODE. And if you pass a bond, then you will get some of that $10 million. Not guaranteed you'll get all 10, but. And the only stipulation with that grant is that items that are in your long range facilities plan, the matching amount of money that you are putting forward. So it's like $10 million of that needs to go towards something that's in your long range facilities.
I don't think that takes long to spend.
Walk into the middle school, it's fun.
Yep.
All right, I think that's it. I watched the last board meeting. I'm sorry I wasn't here. I was sick. There was some questions about capacity. And so Anna did a presentation like back in October. She sent me that. So the capacities, the middle school capacity is 750. The high school is 900. And then the elementary school totals are 1,600. And that was about the only question I think you guys had last time that I picked up on. But I can answer other questions, hopefully, if you have them.
We just need to adopt this.
Yes, please.
Send it to the powers that be, so we can maybe someday collect some money.
We'll submit it to ODE and then in the future, when we apply for a bond, all we have to do is say that we want to use our long range facilities plan to apply for the next cycle of the grant.
The high school leadership team want to expand their partnership.
Absolutely.
Well, Madam Chairman, I move that we correct the spelling errors and adopt this plan.
They left an L off Pal Butte.
Or read the word cafeteria.
Oh,
Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
okay.
You have a second.
We'll be 1 out of 3.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion,
Elsewhere.
a second to also adopt the long range facilities plan and correct the spelling errors. And we have a second. We have further discussion. Okay, let's vote. Kelsey? Yes. Scott?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Eric?
Yep.
And yes as well. Leland, thank you
Thank you.
very much for all this. You're gonna see this through, right?
Some of it.
Wrong answer, sir. Wrong answer.
Well,
Okay, 7.5 sped improvement plan update.
Hey. Yes, so let us jump right into it. So starting with the timeline. So last June, at both our staff end of year survey and our family end of year survey, our sped service programs communication was, I believe, the number 1 and 2 thing targeted from our stakeholders. So from there in July, the board actually set 3 board goals related to sped service. 1.15, they want a comprehensive evaluation of SPED program to ensure students and staff have the necessary training, tools, and support. Board goal 2.4, strengthen communication between families, schools, and specifically regarding bullying and special education. And then finally, 3.4, implement clear SPED protocols and systems to address student behaviors, paired with comprehensive staff input, training, and support. When the board sets 3 goals on one topic, I get to work to make sure we make some progress on there. So in August, our SPED staff and SPED director collaboratively developed behavior protocols that we rolled out this year. In September, credit to Mr. Haywall, it implemented monthly check-ins with our SPED teachers, and then every trimester checking in with our SPED classified staff, as well as provided some additional classified professional development that was paid. Also in September, we launched, and you guys should go visit this website, a Crook County School District Special Education Department frequently asked questions website. So families, we can direct families to there to get their FAQs, as well as Mr. Hall also began sending out a trimester letter, fall, winter, spring, a letter to all families to increase communication on that. So some great actions. And then fast forward to February, and we decided to do a mid-year SPED staff survey just to check in. Hey, we've done these improvements. How are we seeing what's working? What can be improved? From there, and credit to Mr. Cooper, we decided to walk through all special education classes in the district, which was very eye-opening. Seeing the awesome work from our SPED staff and also some opportunities for improvement. Also in March, this was actually really cool because we were trying to figure out how to get more staff involved and more messages to the district office directly. And we do, Dr. Van Rolken and I do a number of listening sessions, and our staff listening sessions, our staff steering committee wasn't really well attended. So I was like, I don't think we're going to get many staff to attend. But sure enough, and actually credit to Jim, you joined me for these. So there was 15 to 20 SPED staff at each one of these listening sessions, sharing some celebrations, and then also, hey, we still need to do some work here. In April and May, based on those listening sessions, we put together a SPED improvement plan with, I don't know, 50 action items that we've begun working on, as well as one of the biggest things was listening, and then also, okay, our SPED staff, we need your help really drilling down to what trainings you need, where are our gaps. So we created 4 work groups, and those have been going. And then May, June, we're finishing up those work groups. Our last 2 are this week, and then we'll roll out those improvements next year. 4 SPED work groups. One is on SPED PD and training. Our biggest thing, we're developing an onboarding plan for instructional assistants. Right now, it is a report they're just kind of dropped in and kind of sink or swim. Also having a SPED mentor to the term walk alongside them throughout the year, not just one training in September. And then as well as tailor our SPED trainings for what they actually need throughout the year. Bree's been working a lot on, we'll do a lot of staff training, and a lot of it isn't relevant to our SPED teachers or counselors, and that time could be spent giving actual training. So that's one group that's working on. Our second one is looking at our staffing and programs review. What are our distinct programs at each school, and how do students move throughout them? They report a little too kind of fuzziness, and what actually do we offer? And if a student has this disability, do we have the program to match with that? Looking at staffing loads, and then again, clarifying pathways and transitions between the programs. This group met last week, looking at the behavior protocols that we implemented this year, what's working, how they need to be refined, as well as what is our desired admin response. Our admin do a great job of when there is an emergency or a crisis, what can staff expect their response to be, and having some reasonable, consistent minimums, which we look forward to implementing. And then finally, aligning SPED curriculum. Over the years, it seems like it's kind of been piecemealed together. So that's another work group we're going on. Next big steps, finalizing our sped director plan. We met with the committee last week and they do have a recommendation. It's not on the board agenda. We're still finalizing some details, but that'll be on the June agenda. Staff are very eager to hear about this, so we will start saying, here's the plan pending board approval, so look for that. We're gonna finish our work group and action plans. This came from the board recently, analyzing potential over identification. So that's something on our target that we're working through this spring. And then at your next dashboard report, you will get an update on those 3 goals. Any questions?
Yeah, not quite sure how to phrase this. Yeah. You know, our school districts surrounding us are making reductions, bigger reductions than we're having to make.
Yeah.
For all the reasons you talked about earlier. I'm hearing that some of those reductions may be coming in their sped programs.
In the regional district?
In the regional districts. Maintenance of effort kicks in there and becomes a little bit debatable, but the fear, what I'm picking up on as I'm listening out there, is the possibility of a shift of sped students in order to get services from outlying districts to Crook County.
Oh.
In order to, because we will still have a competent and growing program that isn't being cut. I'm very concerned about picking up a lot of extra work and expense as a result of that. And you know, it's the kids that are most deeply in need who are most likely to shift because they have no other options.
That's one of the concerns we've heard from our department, and our teachers is these mid-year shifts, the 4-year shifts. So it's something, at least what I'm excited about is Grant's done a great job starting the foundation and just continuing to build this system where the kid comes in with some sort of disability or some sort of need, that our system is clear, focused. There is trouble if we could hire 30 more instructional assistants and our staff would still say, hey, we could use some more. So yeah, it's something we'll continue to monitor, watch.
It's just something I put your ear to the ground on because you may have a bigger problem next year than you think you do.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you for your work on this.
Yes,
Team effort.
Team effort, I love it. 7.6, speech language pathologist grant. Mr. Duval.
Hello. So I'm back again, similar to last year, because there's definitely a state shortage for speech language pathologists, and we have not received any applicants. And part of the problem with these positions are you can't put a person in this position with an emergency license. They have to be licensed. And so because of that, and not having enough programs for the need of the state, we get in these situations where SLPs can pretty much choose where they'd like to work or work for an agency or whatever. So that's where we end up is, you know, our speech needs have continued to increase. And so therefore we have to staff appropriately to be able to serve kids' needs on IEPs. So I'm here to ask that we've had it posted for quite some time and just have not had applicants. And so the goal would be is we'd probably go for an agency, and our first attempt is always to get someone in person in the district to be able to provide services for our students. So that's what I'm here asking for, is to be able to be approved, because we need 1.5 FTE. So a half and a full-time position, and that would go over the $150,000 threshold where we'd need board approval.
And we had to do this last year too.
Yeah, correct. Yep, exactly.
And how is it working out?
It worked out fine because our 1.0 was a gal from Bend. And so she was able to be here in person. Our halftime FTE is an SLP that we've contracted with for probably 4 or 5 years. And she's probably the best halftime SLP that I've ever worked with. However, our process is that we usually look for bids and we try and get what we can, you know, price in person. You know, we try and get what's going to meet the needs of the district.
Yeah, I think just a conversation for the summer is like really around recruiting, and we've talked about this, like licensed counselors and this and just, and I know it's not gonna be a quick or easy fit,
Yeah.
but just like,
It's tough.
and it's tough, but it's like, is there anything we can do to, like, from a long-term perspective, just move the dial on making our school district an attractive place to be and
Yeah, for sure. I mean, some of the things that we do is we start our SLPs on a higher scale point on the pay scale to make it more enticing for them to come versus starting at step one. They're all the way to the right on education, plus I think they start at step 7. So that's good because they get paid more right out of the gate versus going to a different school district. I mean, things that we could continue to look at is, trying to work with, because there's only a few programs in the state, is like trying to head it off. It's just challenging because, it's like, hey, let's get this person before they graduate,
Yeah.
but they don't allow us to do that.
yeah, and I know it's not like a easy or quick fix. I think
Yeah.
it's just
You're on the right page though, because that's the goal, right? We want our own employees, so that when they're invested, they live in our community. Yeah.
Madam Chairman, I move to approve the expenditure for 1.5 SLPs in excess of $150,000.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the expenditure of 1.5 SLPs in excess of 150,000. Do we have further discussion? Okay, let's vote. Kelsey?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
And yes as well.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Grant.
Yeah.
Love your work on this. I had no idea. I thought we were just getting easier.
To that point though, too, you'll see you have a revised agenda
Mhm.
because there was initially gonna be a request similar to a school psychologist. Great news, we did have someone reach out last week to say they wanted to apply to be a school psychologist, so.
Wow.
We
Don't have friends.
There is progress, but I think like Mr. Haywall said, this is a state thing where there's only so many programs, so. Even with Prineville, Crook County being one of the fastest growing attractive communities out there. We're still struggling, but there is some positivity there.
Okay, thank you for that. That is good news that we have an applicant. 8.0 school board, 8.1 superintendent evaluation process, Vice Chair Friedland.
So here's the deal, you both.
Didn't we evaluate up and down and sideways?
Exactly, that is the deal. So
Evaluation.
we agreed in his contract, we were going to evaluate him every June, without thinking about the fact that June was just coming up. We've had 9 listing sessions, 1 giant survey, and we just negotiated a compensation package. What exactly are we going to do? So I want to propose tonight that we make a motion to give the superintendent a performance evaluation as satisfactory for his exactly 4 weeks on the job. And that we then delay his next evaluation till next June, and we'll then figure out what we want to do with surveys and such. Then we've met the letter of the contract, but we don't have to do what we don't need to do.
Agreed.
Second.
So I move to enter a performance evaluation for the superintendent of, I'm gonna say exemplary.
It's been a really good 4 weeks.
It's great for a race. I've not screwed anything up.
We need a second.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. For the performance evaluation of Dr. Hoff to be exemplary and that we will delay this until next June. Did I say that correctly?
Right on schedule.
Awesome. Okay, do we have discussion?
Send out more surveys.
Maybe one.
Let's survey whether the community thinks that's a good idea.
Duly noted. Okay, let's vote. Eric,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
and yes as well. Thank you for heading now. Yes, your 4 weeks is going on.
we go.
Okay, 9.0, what we all have been waiting for, policy updates, Dr. Hoff.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is.
I've spent weeks on these.
I appreciate you more than you know.
And we have a new system and routine going with the policy committee. So all these policies have been reviewed by the policy committee, which consists of Mr. Bradley, Mr. Cooper, Mr. Hayes, and Mrs. Bond. So they have come up and presented multiple times to the committee, been wordsmith. I'm gonna just give a quick overview of all the policies. The board could adopt them at that point, or if they had specific questions, we can pull those people up, but we'll try to go through this real quick. So policy BDDH, that's our public comment at policy boards. We were just updating that policy to match practice, as there is no sign-in sheet that was referred to in the policy, so we took care of that. We also said we added in procedures for online public comment and how people can do that to match our procedures, our actual practice. And then we also made sure to add in that the chair has discretion to allow public comment, even if the person does not meet the timeline to get it before the agenda is adopted, because we want transparency. If someone ran in here 5 minutes ago and said, I need to do a public comment, the chair has the discretion to allow that. So that's the wording there. On policy IKF, we just provided additional clarification around the personal finance requirement, as well as we reordered the diplomas listed in policy based on how frequently they're used, and not having the attendance certificate as the second one listed. On JBA, GBN, we just aligned the policy language to what the board had already adopted on the student policy or the staff policy. So that just brings it up to federal law and new language around there. For the ACAR discrimination complaint procedure, that was updated. Mr. Vieira did that, updating timelines to match what is required by the ODE and law around. We increased the days from 5 to 10 that a complainant could file an appeal. And then finally, last policy, JFCED. This one was interesting. This was our cell phone policy that we recently updated. The board had asked we review it. When we adopted it in, I want to say the fall, they asked that we review it in the spring. We did change a word that cell phones can only be used in the event of emergency during class time. So we added in that clarification. Those were the policies, just a general overview that the fall subcommittee had reviewed.
We did receive on the table and press input. I did want to suggest to you that I liked the language they suggested for adding number 8 to BDDH about decorum and enforcement, that there's nothing in that language that would be harmful and might be helpful. Not so fond of their comments on cell phones. I think they misunderstand our intent. But the 8 would be a good addition.
That is from community school boards.
Yep.
They did, thanks for catching that, Mr. Gruber. They also did catch, we still had held youth listed in ACAR, and then we wanted to change that to a district sponsored charter school, just so that gives us flexibility.
Which I thought we changed at the policy committee. You missed it in the transcript. It's good to know that I remember discussing that.
Or if necessary, perhaps. And what was the other one? Oh, the cell phones. It's functional but narrow. That's an interesting term, but narrower than what the executive order is.
Yes, we intended it to be narrow.
Okay. Right.
So if everybody were okay with the policy changes that are made, and if everybody were okay with the changes we talked about from community school boards, then I would make a motion to mass adopt BDDH with the community school boards amendment, IKF, JBA, GBN, ACAR with the recommended change from Community School Boards Association to make it generic to all school districts or all charter schools. and JFCEB as it was recommended.
Recommended by us.
Right, right.
And a second is what I heard.
Yeah, we'd only be putting the word on.
Okay, so. There is a motion and a second to do a mass adoption of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 policies with the amendment to BDDH to add in number 8, decorum and enforcement. To also, on the JFCEB to add in the word only, the word only. And then, was that the only two? Oh, and then ACAR, we're going to remove Shelby Community Charters
Change it to.
and change it
charter.
to charter schools. Did I get it all?
Yep, yeah.
Can we get it all? Okay, do we have further discussion? Okay, let's vote. Eric,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
and yes as well. Thank you for all of your hard work who is on that policy committee. I appreciate you all very, very, very much.
And then one more policy committee item.
Okay,
Can we take our exemplary superintendent and fire him from the policy committee?
oh,
Because it isn't working.
do you have to?
Here's the deal.
It's not working.
Because he's a voting member of the committee. Before the committee meeting, you can't call Joel and say, hey, explain how this policy is working to me. That would be communication with a group that's making an advisory recommendation to the board. And that is, so we have to spring whatever we find at the meeting, and it's all confusing and it shouldn't be that way. It would be easier if we fired Joel. He will still come and participate fully as a staff member. But I think probably Joe is the one who needs to be on the committee. I would like to. Sorry, I mean, policy eventually becomes an HR headache, so you might as well be involved in the making of it, and know what happened there. So I would like to, I mean, if you prefer, we could have 3, but.
No, I actually.
So I would like to propose that we replace Dr. Hoff with Joe Vieira on the HR director on the policy committee.
Set a motion.
That is a motion.
I'll second it. Sorry, Joe.
This isn't.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to replace Dr. Hoff with.
Sounds better than fire.
I know. You're welcome. To replace
So exemplary and then.
Joel with Joe. And we have a second on that. Do we have further discussion? Joe's now it's time to say anything. Eric,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
and yes as well. Welcome to the policy committee.
Wow.
It's fun.
It is, and I appreciate you all just more than you ever will know. Okay. Upcoming dates. Building Bridges Committee meeting is May 21st, 4 o'clock at the district office. No school Memorial Day, May 25th. Senior baccalaureate ceremony, June 1st, 6:30 at Crook County High School. Senior award ceremony, June 2nd, 6:30 at Crook County High School. Senior trip, June 3rd to Canada. Connected Safe and Stable Schools Committee meeting, June 3rd, 4 o'clock at the district office. Senior breakfast, June 4th at 8 a.m. at Crook County High School. Graduation parade, June 5th, 3 o'clock. Senior graduation ceremony, June 5th, 6:30 p.m. at the Crook County Fairgrounds. Policy Review Committee meeting, June 8th, 12 o'clock, virtual meeting only. Board meeting, June 8th, 6:30 p.m. at the district office. Last day of school, K through 11, half day, June 11th. End of year staff celebration, June 12th, 11 o'clock at Crook County High School. And Policy Review Committee meeting, June 15th, 5:30 p.m. at the district office. That's a lot. Okay, 11.0, public comments. Ooh, turn the page. If you wish to make a public comment, please complete and submit the public comment card to the executive assistant to the superintendent and school board by the time the agenda is approved. If you're viewing online, please indicate that you would like to speak in the comment section. When you are recognized, please state your name and any group you're representing. Keep your comments to no more than 4 minutes. A group of visitors with a common purpose should designate a spokesperson for the group. If you wish to request that the board consider an agenda item, please contact the superintendent at least 1 week prior to the next board meeting. Per policy BDDH, the board will not hear comments regarding any individual district staff member. And if you have a complaint about a specific staff member, please contact the superintendent or the board chair. I believe I have 2 cards. And I will check with Mr. Ryan. Do we have anybody? Okay, thank you. Okay. So let's begin. Rihanna Bedorta, would you like to join us?
Sorry, first time ever public speaking. My name is Rihanna Bedorta. I have spoke with some of you. Dr. Hoff already kind of went over why I'm here. I am here not only as a parent, but an advocate for our current and for our future students of Plina. Dr. Hoff is a numbers guy. He gave you that number 19. My problem with that, he did not give you the number of grades for one certified teacher. We currently have 14 students, and we will gain a kindergartner next year to put us at 15 with what we currently have. This is, like he said, fluid. We're always up and down. My problem with this is you're already asking our two teachers as it stands. One teaches K through third, one teacher teaches fourth through eighth. Yes, we have our classified staff that helps out. My problem is now you guys are proposing with the budget that we're gonna drop to that one teacher, and then you guys are expecting her to prep for 9 grades, K through 8, and give these kids what they deserve, the education they deserve. I listened to all of you talk about these amazing opportunities that all these kids in town are getting. Our kids don't receive that. It's hard. We're kind of put in a box over there with brothers, out of sight, out of mind. But I just don't see how our kids can have the level of education that they deserve, that access to equity, if we are putting all this onto one teacher, and not to mention the burnout of this, to do that to one teacher. And I know rural schools are expensive. No one's denying that, but our kids deserve the same opportunities as anyone else's kids. And you talked about numbers. You're trying to keep that 23, 24 number at one of the schools. And teaching 24 kids in one grade is a lot different than having a kindergartner in with an 8th grader, and you're trying to provide the best education you can for those kids. And I'm sorry, even with the classified staff, kindergartners have accidents. Unfortunately, we have parents that are hours away, and someone is going to have to sit with that kid until we can either get an emergency contact, which, as he knows, there's very few places real close to the school. I myself am a half hour. If I happen to be at my house, I can be upwards of an hour away from my kids when I receive that phone call. Kids get sick. How are we addressing the other little issues? I mean, on paper, it looks great. Cut Plina, cut $70,000, cut that certified teacher. But is that really the solution, or can we address the budget and figure out how to keep these 2 teachers in Plina? And my kids are a 3rd generation Plina Elementary kids. So their grandfather went to Plina Elementary. Their dad went to Plina Elementary. They are now going to Plina Elementary. And I would have to look up the history, but I don't believe we've ever gone down to one certified teacher. As an employer, we have a ranch, we employ people. One, I don't believe it's legal for us to only employ families as you're trying to recruit students. And 2, if you guys cut to one teacher, how do we address future employees and say, hey, sorry, your 1st grader is going to be in with 7th graders and 9 different grades, one teacher's teaching. So I just want to kind of drive home some other facts that you guys may not know. And I doubt any of you have probably sat in on how it even works when you watch one teacher having to teach in K through 3rd, 4 grades. Our older teacher, the 4th through 8th, she's teaching 5 grades. It's tough. I sub at Plina. I'm the only sub on Plina's list. And I didn't even realize myself how hard it is on our staff, how stretched thin they already are with that many grades in one classroom. And now we're saying, let's move all the kids in. Thank you for your time. I hope I've gotten my point across. I'm not a public speaker. I speak to cows more than people. But thank you guys for your time and consideration on this.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Do I just get up and leave?
Yeah. Thank you. Darcy?
I have spoken at this desk before. A few times. I like to be more prepared, but today I'm just gonna speak as mom and grandma. It feels like 25, 30 years ago, we were having this same conversation about how do we save Plana School. That's not a healthy way for kids to go to school, to feel like they're vulnerable, and they know it. I mean, everybody knows everything in Plana. I know our fourth grader, they get a new grade every year. Third grader, fourth grader, what is our Raylan?
Raylan is fourth.
That's what I thought. Our fourth grader is exceeding in math when it has always been a struggle because Mr. Kent is awesome. And I know, Vice Chair Cooper, you have been around long enough to know how difficult it is to find someone that the community of Paulina will embrace and make part of theirs. And they have done so with this man.
Can I interrupt you, Darcy?
Yes.
Mr. Kent is our K through third grade teacher and you swapped your grandkids, but that's okay. Darcy lives in town.
One of my grandkids is excelling in math because Mr. Kent is awesome. And the community of Paulina loves him. So, like I said, I'm not very prepared. I'm speaking from the heart. And Rhiannon mentioned we had all of these kids from middle school math. Plana kids don't have a math club where they can go and compete. Like diesel is $6.40 a gallon. We can't get kids to town to practice. Our teachers out there wear all of the hats. They're the drama instructor. They're the math teachers. They're the track coach. We're all sunburned because we've been at a track meet in Mitchell all day with the Plana kids. They're the baseball coaches. They're everything. They wear all of the hats. They're the counselor when somebody's having a bad day or mom and dad are having a bad time or, you know, things are hard out there. We can't plan. I mean, we went through this with my kids. We couldn't get them to town to do all of the awesome things that they had a right to do. My kids are brilliant. My grandkids are brilliant. And the equitable access to education matters. And I know Chromebooks are important because we live in that age, but there was almost no discussion about a $250,000 allotment to replace those. Like, I know budgets are tough and money is tight, but we're talking about 2 teachers, like half, we can't cut staff in half and not feel the impact greatly. And Rihanna was eloquent about how that, much more eloquent than I am, about how that impacts in the classroom, that one-on-one, if somebody has an accident, somebody needs extra support, who's there to do that? As a teacher myself, the thing that like our Monday staff meeting talked about was the relationships between teachers and supporting each other, especially rural and especially, you know, we do a lot of our work virtual. Like that's critical, not only in retention, but in mental health and the like ability to do new things, all of the learning and support. Being in Paulina without that partner teacher, I can't imagine that. And I have a whole list of other things that I want to talk about, but I know that you talked about it takes a village. Like you can't take an important member of our village away without that really hurting the community. And there's so many things. 8th grade leadership. We don't have 8th grade leadership club. You know, we might have one 8th grader and one of those teachers has to develop that leadership capacity in that child while they do all the other things. And if it's one teacher with 15 kids, 9 grade levels, those things aren't going to happen. And Paulina kids deserve every single bit of that. They don't get sports coaches that can prepare them to come to high school. My boys didn't. Like we were ranching and working all summer. We couldn't get them into camp. 3 weeks out of the summer so that they could, as an 8th grader, move into high school and compete on the team with everybody who's in town and doing that stuff all the time from the time they're in 5th grade. Like there are things that we can do to support our students in Paulina to get as much access as everybody to the best that we can. And one of those easy things is to keep our teacher out there. And I beg you to find another way, because like I live in Prineville now, but Paulina will always be my home. So thank you.
Thank you, Darcy.
Just want to point out to both of you that we've all heard about this proposal, which is contained in the draft budget. But we have not had an opportunity as a board to talk about this amongst ourselves at all. So your testimony is very helpful and enlightening, and it will probably get handled at the budget committee. We will provide some resolution to this. Thanks for bringing it tonight. It's good things to think about.
Thank you. It is. I appreciate that very much for both of you. And I know you have a very long drive home because you have been away all day. So we appreciate you being able to make that.
Thank you very much.
Yes. It is 8:41 and we are going to adjourn this meeting. Thank you.